Hello, welcome back. So I've decided we are in fact going to go to war with Egypt, because when you have two cities that are this good and this weakly defended, it would be completely wrong to pass that up. So we're going to go ahead and make a move towards that. Need to make sure Siwa doesn't rebel against us. If we put a few peasants in there and we tuck a few of these guys into the town, so what are we least likely to need? I can't imagine we'd need the Libyan mercenaries much. Maybe not the auxiliary as well, so let's put both of those in. And then let's have a look. So up to 70% public order. Once we recruit the peasants, that should be fine. And we can also pick up a couple of mercenaries potentially. Probably don't need to do that till next turn. So let's move up here, although before we do this, let's just remind ourselves of exactly what's going on here. So Alexandria is guarded by a unit of Pharaoh's guards, which are very good phalanx units, but obviously on their own not going to be a big threat. And then there is Armos, the faction leader, who is completely on his own. He does have an army nearby, but it's pretty weak, and if they don't go into the town to garrison it, should be able to pretty easily clean him out, which is great. I've also had a little look at the graphs before I went into this, and Egypt is surprisingly actually declining slightly. They've kind of lost some of their power. I'm not sure why. They're not at war with the Romans. As far as I'm aware, they could only be at war with Pontus. I don't think they are. So I'm not really sure what's happened to them, but I feel like it's a good time to go and attack. It is maybe short-term gain for long-term pain, because we're probably going to end up going toward Britannia if you look at this small force here. I'm pretty sure this force has not been growing in the entire time that it's been attacking the Gallic capital, and the Gallic forces have been shrinking a lot faster than the Britannic ones. So I think Britannia's about to take that town. I obviously want to unite Iberia, so I'm going to have to go to war with Britannia, I'm pretty sure. Over in this town we need to fix things up a little bit, so let's do a few repairs. The stockade, of course, and probably also the market. We don't need the Sacred Grove Abnoba, we'll just destroy that. Practice range doesn't make sense, and I'm not sure what happens with the meeting hall. I thought that was kind of the barbarian version of the barracks. So in theory, if we just build the Legion barracks, I would think that would just either repair it or altogether get rid of it. I'm not really sure. So we're just going to go ahead and finish up the barracks first. I'm going to destroy this, and I'm going to replace it. For the first time in a long time, we're going to actually go with the Shrine to Vulcan here, because public order is not really the point with Oscar. We are going to be using it as a frontline town. So I want to make sure we can really strengthen our units that pass through that particular area, and we're going to recruit some Roman cav. And then over here in Greece, let's make sure that our forces are next to each other, ready to help each other out. They're going to hold out for 4 more turns. I'm pretty sure we can easily handle them. And then let's just go ahead and pick up a few extra units over in the Greece area. We're going to get the usual legionary cohorts. And I am tempted to send some of these forces to the southeast to help out with Egypt, but not completely sure on that, because we would obviously need them potentially against these forces up here, along with, of course, the Julii Death Ball, which is currently going towards, I think, Germania, who have survived for a surprisingly long time. I seem to remember that Germania was normally one of the factions that gets wiped out first, but they're still holding out. But since we're going to war with Egypt, we also probably want to go and attack Cyprus. So in this town, let's just go ahead and recruit an early legionary cohort, and that is all of our money gone. I was also considering a diplomat, which we do have another diplomat, I think. Yeah, just up here. So maybe we don't need one. Okay, send the turn. See if Egypt show up with something more impressive. If they don't, then we will be taking their towns. Been kicked out of Thrace's town, but that's fine. They haven't gone for the attack on this yet, but it's only got 1 turn left to hold out. The senators have decided in their wisdom that our faction does not deserve the honour of holding any of the Republic's offices of state at this time. They could definitely regret that. But we're not actually ready to take to go to civil war yet, which is surprising because we're up to, I think... Yeah, we're up to 29 regions controlled, which is quite substantial, but we're not actually ready to kick things off yet. In this town we finished off the Shrine to Vulcan, so let's beef up a few of these units. It is pretty expensive, but should be worth it. And then we're going to get a few spies, I think. Let's save the rest of our denarii because we might need to recruit a few extra mercenaries here, as looks like... Okay, so I think they picked up a couple of extra units in this force. However, Memphis is still pretty undefended. So we're going to split this guy's forces roughly in half. He can reach both. Okay, so we're going to send... got a total of 4 units of archers. So let's go with 2 on each side. And then at least 1 spear unit. At least 1 cav. Mercenary hoplites, and that's probably a pretty good split. Maybe some Numidian mercenaries. And yeah, let's just go for the attack. Okay, so we're now officially at war with Egypt. Hopefully we won't live to regret this. These towns are just too good to pass up. I think we really have to go for this. If this guy does come to attack us, I think we can probably handle it. We can also potentially pick up some more mercenaries, although can't afford too much right now. I think Bedouin archers are going to be worth picking up, possibly next turn. This could be a slightly tough fight. Those are pretty elite units. Let's play it safe and get a couple of extra units, just so we can weaken those a bit before they attack us, because they would be able to cut through our legionary cohorts pretty quickly. At war with Egypt, as we know, and we really don't have too much money to spend. But hopefully once we take these 2 towns we will be able to get a nice economic boost. Definitely 2 of the best towns on the map, so completely worth having. Tylis is not too happy, so let's just get them some peasants. And Siwa is relatively happy, so I'm going to send these 2 units up. Yeah, you can see the Julii forces there, still absolutely huge. I'm not sure if this means we're at war with Britannia or not. I'm going to try and back out. What is going on? We could easily beat him, but I'm going to try and not get involved. Is this just going to loop forever? No, we finally break out of that. Some kind of fight going on here. Rebels have decided to attack at Capua. We're not backed by our fellow navy for some reason, but take a clear defeat. Our ship doesn't sink though, so that's fine. We can retrain that at some point, as it looks like the Egyptian forces have actually decided to run away instead of engaging. So let's join these up. And yeah, let's pick up the Bedouin archers. I'm not going to do this as a full-blown siege, I'm just going to auto-resolve. I mean, he's surprisingly manages to get a 5-to-1 ratio, still. Should be fine, as yeah, we do take it. This is a great town, and that is a lot of population, so it's kind of tempting to occupy it, but I feel like the public order problems are just going to be too much, so let's go for the extermination. There should still be enough people left over that we can recruit some pretty good things here. As a yeah, huge city, so it's the best possible tier. Doesn't start off with an urban barracks, however we are already able to recruit Praetorian cohorts, and potentially I think legionary cohorts once we repair this. Elite cavalry stables enables us to not recruit Praetorian cav, but still. No, definitely repair these I think. And can get a Pantheon here surprisingly. How does that work? This is not... This doesn't have a Roman shrine, so I'm not sure why we're able to upgrade this. Awesome Temple of Horus. And we can ourselves upgrade it, so That's really strange. We'll go for it because it is cheaper than the urban barracks, so let's just do it. And let's pick up a few extra archers. And then we should be able to do the same thing with Alexandria. 5-1 once again should be okay. They only actually managed to get the one kill, so definitely worth doing it that way. Very similar situation, very high population, lots of money to be made. Let's just go for it. And we've captured 2 extra wonders. The lighthouse at Alexandria should enable us to move further on the water, and the Great Pyramid increases the loyalty of Egyptians to our cause. So if we check out Memphis and we look at the settlement details, we can see that the wonders are making quite a big difference there. It's not just the statue of Zeus, it's the pyramids as well. So makes conquering Egypt surprisingly easy. And we probably do have to do some repairs here. Let's see, so Pharaoh's Palace, I think that's going to make a big difference to public order. Let's do the Armourer too. Let's just do all of it, we've got loads of money. And in this case, I'm not sure what to go with. I'm tempted by the dockyard, but I think we'll hold off for now. Let's focus on recruiting units instead. We've got a lot to do over here. And yeah, as we can see, Britannia has in fact taken Numantia. And I think we're just going to have to go ahead and attack it. The good thing about this is because we haven't yet kicked off the Civil War, it will mean that Britannia is also going to be at war with the Julii, so hopefully they'll focus on them instead of us. I kind of doubt it, because the nearest town is Narbo Martius here, and I think it's more likely they're going to come to the south and attack Oscar, but we will see. I'm going to go for this. Hopefully we can make peace with them afterwards. I'm not really sure if that's going to work or not.
Settlement under siege, sir. Sir.
These two can't join up, but they can both attack the same town.
Settlement, sir. Settlement under siege, sir.
Some mercenaries available, not very good though, so I'm not going to bother with that. Everyone's at war with Egypt. And Gaul has officially been destroyed. Okay.
Fleet ready.
Let's see. So we need to scout out what Cyprus actually has. In my experience, towns like Cyprus, or Salamis I think it's called, tend to be pretty weakly defended. So we might be able to go for it straight away.
Aye, Captain.
This is not the strongest navy.
Fleet ready. Yes, Captain. Move depleted, sir. Onward. Set sail.
Yeah, if we get pushed back, that's fine. I think it's worth the risk.
Sir,
Just so we can take it a turn or two sooner.
Aye, Captain. Ready to sail. Prepare to engage. Victory! Prepare to engage.
Still haven't sunk that. Oh, we did. Okay, good.
Victory!
Alright, so Capua has now finished. Can now get the Pantheon, which is going to be extra experience for all our units. Alternatively, archery range, we really don't have any archers here. We can build it a lot sooner, so let's just do that. We can retrain most of our units.
Yes, master.
Start spying on Rome. Yeah, it's pretty weak. Once we take it, we will be able to start recruiting the first cohorts ourselves. And that's a very big incentive. And in these towns, we've got so much money left that we can probably just have a huge queue on the go. This town actually has a huge number of legionary cohorts, which we should probably replace with peasants. And then these two towns are both recruiting, so I think we're pretty much good to move things on. Let's So yeah, there is a pretty large Britannic force headed our way. We're going to need to be ready for that. Not sure exactly what they're going to have. Lots of infantry by the looks of it, so we really do want to start getting archers if we can. So the archery range, it's going to take 4 turns. We're about to finish off the Legion barracks, which is going to be more useful for now. We won't bother with the Shrine to Vulcan. Let's prioritize the archery range. And, still lots of rebels showing up. Let's see, so this is mostly peasants.
General, Imperator, sir, engage the enemy. Victory! General,
Alright, let's get rid of these. Yeah, I really don't trust the auto-resolve to do this one properly. Let's try and rout them. Take as few losses as we can. So Iberian infantry, I'm pretty sure, do get the peeler, or the peeler substitute. The spears, whatever they're called, javelins, that's the word. So don't want to get too close. We might be slightly in range here. At this point, probably just time to go for it, I think. They are gonna engage the spear warbands. Hopefully we can rout them with this charge. They're taking some pretty heavy losses. We have got a full surround.
Your general now lies dead because of his foolishness. His men will lose heart.
Surely this is in our favour though. They're holding out better than expected.
The gods be praised.
There we go.
The enemy general is dead. His men know their doom approaches. The enemy show. Oh!
Okay, so we can retrain most of those.
orders. Imperator,
Let's start sending the Roman cav up to Oscar,
leaving the army. Onward!
and we'll leave these behind for now.
Sir!
Can actually get some pretty good buildings here. Let's start with paved roads. I think that helps us reinforce a bit quicker. For some reason, when I go into these battles, I don't know what it is, ever since I came back to this playthrough, the mountain textures get screwed up as soon as I go into a battle. It's kind of annoying. I don't know what's causing it. I don't think I can fix it. But you will notice that, I think. So Thebes down here, I think it's called. It's another huge city. So we definitely want to attack that. We can reach it immediately. So let's just leave behind a couple of weaker units. Okay, we're gonna go for this.
Attack! Besieging settlements, sir.
Should again be fairly easy to bring down. We can pick up a couple of extra merc units too. Memphis is now very unhappy, so let's just drop them to low tax rate. Should solve that. We've got some archers on the way. We'll retrain these, and we'll retrain as many of these as we can as well.
Orders, attack! Settlement under siege, sir.
We'll save the mercenaries for Oscar. And then I think if everywhere's recruiting, we can probably just move on. Let's see, so army barracks, that enables us to get the Praetorian cohort and the legionary cohort, so let's get that. Keep the archers coming. Print is able to build something new. Let's just go with archery range. Sparta needs to grow. I think we've really crippled this town a bit too much. And then we should have some free capacity over in Carthage. We are now able to build the Praetorian Cav, so let's get a few of those. And we can potentially get the Pantheon too. Can't quite afford it right now.
Aye, Captain. Aye, aye, Captain. Imperator, sir. Ready to sail. Aye, aye, Captain.
Probably do need a slightly better navy. We've been pretty weakened. And I think the last thing we're going to do is go down to Siwa, try to give it some kind of slightly stronger defense. We can also increase the tax rate. I think a couple of our towns are pretty happy now, so let's see if we can do that in a few other towns. So this one can go up to very high. This can go to normal, and I think this one can probably also go to normal. So we should have a decent amount of money coming our way. Let's just end the turn. Now I think at some point Egypt is going to show up with a stronger force. But apparently not yet. Looks like they're considering trying to take Alexandria back. I don't think that's going to be enough.
General, attack!
Thebes is very weak. This is actually a little bit borderline. There are some pretty strong units. I'm not sure I want to auto-resolve this, although I don't really want to fight it, so oh my god. I'm getting a bit lazy now. I am getting a bit lazy. I should not have lost that many. That was kind of ridiculous. Still, I mean, it works. We don't have to pay their upkeep anymore. Got another town very quickly. And we can now use this for some extra recruitment. Not sure what to prioritize. Probably mines. And then Memphis we're gonna beef up with a few extra infantry units. And let's send our spy out just to see if something stronger headed our way. Because pretty much everything at this point should be attacking us from the east. From the northeast, specifically. Yeah, nothing too scary yet. Okay, Thrace is still hanging on. About to take them next turn. It looks like forces of Britannia have moved on. Can't yet tell who they're going for. I think they would actually go for the Julii before us, so that's perfect. If they could actually take that town, that would work out incredibly well.
Orders, prepare for battle.
This should be very easy.
Victory! Settlement captured, General.
Yeah, I should have just waited that one out. That was not good. These are all pre-Marian units. That's my excuse. We're just gonna mix them all up and prepare them to be obsolete. That's a ridiculous number of losses. What I didn't take into account, despite the fact I know it and have mentioned it pretty recently, is of course the chariot units just do a ridiculous amount of damage. So we did take a massive number of losses there. On the upside, we've got that town safely in the bag. We can start moving towards Oscar with one of our generals. And I think I might send the other one up just to drop a watchtower. We're still the strongest faction, even with some of those disproportionately heavy losses. But yeah, as you can tell, I've kind of... Oh, that's interesting. So we officially can now potentially go for the Civil War. So it's time to start preparing for that. But yeah, as you can tell, I've kind of changed my perspective on auto-resolve a bit. I don't mind it so much. I think a lot of these fights are pretty safe. Thrace is still pestering us, but they've only got one turn left to go. Lots of recruitment done. Everyone's at war with Britannia. Egyptian turncoat, that's perfect. And a barbarian turncoat, which is going to help against Britannia, so that's good as well. This time we're going to get the archery range and try and beef it up with a bit of general infantry. And then over here we're ready to retrain. Let's retrain these as well.
Ready to sail. Yes, Captain.
So yeah, as I expected, this is extremely weakly defended. So
Ready to sail.
with just what we have here,
Sail.
should be able to take that pretty easily next turn, or the turn after.
Sir. Orders.
Haven't got the best infantry forces, but I think that's still going to be fine. I'm going to try and bolster this a little bit. And then main event of next turn should be the fall of Thrace. They're definitely going to come out and fight us, but it's clearly in our favour. Should be a big fight though, definitely not going to auto-resolve that one. Should be pretty interesting, but I think we've definitely made some pretty solid progress here. We got 3 extra, or in fact 4 extra towns in very quick succession, and we're officially potentially able to go for the Civil War, so it's time to start preparing for that. Well, we've been preparing for it for a long time, but it's time to start really thinking about how we're going to go ahead and make that happen. Probably depends somewhat on this kind of western frontier, what happens with Britannia if they come for us. That's going to change the situation a bit, but here in Italy we need to be ready to potentially attack 3 or 4 different towns at once, and then Greece is going to be very difficult because all of this I think is going to come and fight us, and Germania is not going to put up much of a fight. So should be really interesting. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.